Hey everybody, this is Jay and this is Nick here with Nobody Sports back for another episode. Pretty excited. We're going to do this episode a little different, which you'll understand why in just a minute. But we are doing the NFC East. Also wanted to mention the hot mic at the end of the last episode. Pretty funny, but anyway.
Yeah.
Made him uncomfortable.
We're going to hear about it.
Real quick here, we're going to do this a little different. Don't get me wrong, we're going to get into this further here, but you guys are going to understand why in a minute. But we're both pretty much see this division the same as far as we're concerned. Cowboys bottom, Giants third, could be sneaky good with Jackson Dart and how he looked, I think. And then Damn Commie second, Eagles first. I think you got to give it to the Eagles.
Yeah.
With that, though, we actually, for the first time, we're going to bring in a guest. He's a big Eagles fan, so he knows this division really well. He's going to be our Eagles insider that we'll bring in from time to time throughout the year. And so with that, we're going to give a warm welcome to Steve and bring him on for this episode to help us break down this division and give us some insight.
Yeah, can't wait. Let's do it.
Awesome.
What's going on, fellas?
How's it going? Can you hear us?
I can hear you well. You might have to deal with some helicopters.
Yeah, good. We can hear you. Cool.
But,
Awesome.
Yeah, we got the NFC East.
Quick question.
NFC
You're a first guest, but I want to start off with a little no, definitely. I want to start off with a little off the topic, though. Movie trivia, though. She touched my peppy, Steve. Name that movie.
I'm sorry. What was that? I didn't hear that.
No?
Uh-uh.
Oh, she touched my peppy, Steve. Nothing? Multiplicity?
No.
Never mind. He's dead. He's not.
No, it's all right.
Let's talk football.
Let's talk some fucking pigskin, fellas. Yeah. The NFC East, the motherfucking. Let's talk about the motherfucking birds, right? Motherfucking champions. No, I see it the same way you guys kind of had it.
Well, in that outline, we have Eagles 1.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I have Eagles. I have Philly, obviously. Eagles 1, right? And then two, I have the Washington 49ers. That's who I have at 2. With the way those two teams have been trading back and forth, but whatever, right? Whatever. And then New York, and then obviously Dallas at the bottom. Dallas isn't going to see daylight for a long time. For a long time. Fuck Dallas. But yeah. That's how I see it.
Well, I think as long as Jerry Jones, here's what I have for notes. What he's doing with Parsons is insanity. I think. This is actually my notes there. A lot of people still think Parsons will play week 1, but Jerry's going senile and being a jackass, just stirring up drama. So I don't know how much longer Parsons puts up with that. I think that there's a chance that Parsons is not there with the Cowboys, and if he's not, they definitely bottom out without Parsons. That now the defense is really weak. The secondary was already weak. I mean, outside of Trayvon Diggs, I don't know what they're doing in the secondary. Now, the D-line with Micah Parsons will actually be one of the better defensive lines in the league if Parsons plays. But, I mean, what the fuck is Jerry doing?
Yeah, you know what? As long as he keeps doing what he's doing, that's all I can say. As long as Jerry Jones keeps doing what Jerry Jones does, right?
Yeah.
You start with the Parsons thing. I mean, shit. DeMarcus Lawrence went to Seattle, and he had some choice words to say on his way out, didn't he? I mean, I think it just kind of tells you it's the culture. The culture Jerry Jones brings to the Cowboys is, well, fucking awesome, in my opinion. Fucking awesome, because look where it's gotten. Past 30 motherfucking years, you haven't sniffed shit in 30 motherfucking years, but you can go, oh, we got 5 rings. We got 5 rings. Yeah, you know what? You motherfuckers weren't even alive the last time these motherfuckers played a game that was meaningful. When was the last time? And
I hope they
do it. I hope they do it.
They let go of Dowdle who was really good, Rico Dowdle, actually last year, and got Javonte Williams 3 to 5 to 3.6 yards a carry the last 2 years. I didn't understand that at all either.
And Sanders, you got to remember, Sanders made a big stink to Barkley, hey, or to Philly, hey, I'm with Dallas now. I'm going to run it down y'all's throat. No, motherfucker, no, you're not.
Miles Sanders?
You see the offensive line? Miles Sanders is in Dallas.
Rushed behind the best offensive line in the league.
Exactly, right? Exactly, right? Yeah. And you got to also remember, he was also Saquon's backup at Penn State. So he's gonna play fiddle to. He's gonna play always be the little brother to Saquon, right? Even though he ran behind a good offensive line with the Eagles, Miles Sanders was good when he was younger, but you saw what he does when he has to make the plays, right? When he has to make the plays, it's just not there.
I think that the Eagles offensive line, like much like Kyle Shanahan runs a quarterback-friendly system, right? You can plug and play a lot of backup quarterbacks and have big games in that system. Kind of the same thing when you have an offensive line that's that dominant. When Miles Sanders was there, you can plug and play a running back, and if they just have NFL talent, they're going to put up good numbers behind that O-line. But you see the difference between what happens with a Miles Sanders and then you bring in a legit running back like Saquon, and then holy shit, team's unstoppable.
Right. Well, the Cowboys don't have that, right? The Cowboys lost Zach Martin too, which is going to be a big. That's going to be a big difference.
I'll give him credit. Javonte Williams, even though he sucks, he is really good at still picking up a yard. So if they can get to a 3rd and 1, I mean, I guess he's got a strength there, but I don't even trust him to do that.
And the Cowboys' real problem is going to be their defense. I mean, yes, they get sacks, but the rest of their defense,
without Micah Parsons.
Well, and that's just it, right? When are they going to have Micah Parsons? Is Dante Fowler going to step up? You know,
he traditionally has it. He's better as a complementary pass rusher. He's better as your number 2 punch. Right. So if he's a number 2 punch, he's great. But when he's your number 1 pass rusher, that's not very good. He's going to get you 4 to 6 sacks. We've seen it.
I love that Dak, though, is the number 1 paid quarterback in the NFL.
Stupid. I put that stupid. Highest paid quarterback, Dak Prescott. That's stupid.
That's stupid.
I put the Javonte Williams, let go of Dowdle and picked up Javonte Williams. That's stupid.
I mean, Williams was having problems in Denver. Denver's a good place to run the ball at, last I checked, right?
The one positive to their defense, Eberflus, even though he wasn't a good head coach, I think he's a good defensive coordinator. But
their front
who does
seven,
he have to work with?
Front 7 is good. It's their secondary that's terrible. Them and the Giants have that very similar. Actually, a number of teams in the NFL seem to have that, where they've got a great pass rush, but their defense is still terrible.
Well, their safeties are like usually it's something where it's like, oh, the safeties are weak, or they at least have but literally past Trayvon Diggs, who is question mark with health, I literally don't know what they're doing.
So let's ask everybody, and I know Steve will have an opinion on this one. Where do we see the Cowboys? What's their record? What are we going to call it? Steve, you go first.
You know, I'll be honest with you. The more and more I listen to just, everybody, like, from Stephen A. to Nick Wright to even you guys, right? I keep doubting what I actually have, and I've actually changed it twice. I'm gonna go 4-13, and I think that might be a stretch. I just think that it's just Jerry Jones has just infused the fucking craziness, the fucking, the craziness of Jerry Jones, right? I think I love the fact that it's going on. So I'm gonna say 4-13 for Dallas.
Here's what I have.
That's a stretch.
My bottom notes are just don't like it. 2 to 5 win team. They're a mess, and Jerry cares more about drama and publicity than rings. Unfortunately for Cowgirls fans, and fortunately for the rest of the NFL.
Yes, I would agree. I concur.
Either you're a Cowboys fan or you can't fucking stand the Cowboys. There's not really a lot of happy medium there.
And I think the Cowboys, didn't you feel that they were vying for the paper bag?
They are. Yeah. So number one pick, I think it's them or the Saints competing pretty hard for that number one pick.
It could be.
Watching Justin Fields, the Jets too, maybe, unfortunately.
And I think, modern day Cowboy fan is just the result of being fucking groomed as a child. You know what I mean? Her parents just kind of groom their kids into being fucking Cowboy fans against their will. You can see it in their eyes when they're wearing that shit.
Yeah, I got them at 5-12 as well. Well, in the same ballpark. So
yeah,
we all see them
13, 5-12.
5-12. So let's move on to the third place team we all see, and that's the Giants. Things have kind of changed a little bit. Jackson Dart seems to be having a good preseason.
Jackson Dart's throwing some fucking darts in the preseason as well.
I still think it's a year. I mean, Jackson Dart should be next year's plan. Don't get me wrong; it's a good way to go. I'm just saying it's next year's plan. Yeah,
much like that's what. Don't think they are there yet. So 7 or 8 wins, but next year this could be a playoff team. I like the direction they are heading in, much like the Titans. And I was surprised because I actually, with a lot of people, they were saying Jackson Dart, like a lot of people were hard on him when he was drafted. Like it's going to be a bust. But actually, and I get it's preseason, so I don't want to overreact too bad. But I will say this, his instinct, like he is the best rookie in the preseason by far. His overall work that he's put in, he has looked amazing.
Real quick, I firmly believe. So we traded with the Falcons at 26 to get they got our first round pick. I firmly believe that we made that decision when the Giants drafted Dart. If the Giants didn't draft Dart, I think the Rams would have. But since he wasn't there, they said, all right, well, we'll trade out, get 2 first rounders for next year. But that's how I think multiple teams saw some potential in this kid.
Malik Neighbors is insane. He's already, after his rookie season, kind of in the conversation as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. It's crazy what he did. You got to tip your cap, even if you hate him, to that guy.
Steve, what's your thoughts on the G-Men?
They are making better moves on both sides of the ball, right? Offensive line is still going to be the weak point. Here's the deal: Jackson can throw as many fucking darts as he is, humanly possible. But without an offensive line or the same one that fucking Daniel Jones had, you're going to be on your back. You're not going to be throwing very many fucking darts, but I do like, fucking Neighbors. Their running back was it Tracy, and they have other pieces as well. But if overall their offense is not bad, it's just going to leak like a sieve. Offensive line is going to leak.
But the offensive line, actually, their left tackle was hurt last year, and they were still good. And let me see here, where's my notes at? Looks like they were good. Sorry, I can't remember if it was pass blocking. They were really good, actually. I think it was pass blocking, but not run blocking.
Well, all I know is the Eagles.
No, actually, they were really good at run blocking. They were a top 10 offensive line for run blocking, but they struggled with pass blocking. If their left tackle stays healthy, though, I think the offensive line will actually be better than now. It's still not an elite offensive line, but I think they could be an average pass blocking, and then they actually look above average run blocking. And Tyrone Tracy Jr. does look pretty promising coming into his sophomore season.
Yeah, I think once they got stabilized last year with the run game, I think you kind of saw that it was it was going to be a little bit better, even with what's his name? Who the fuck was their quarterback last year? Like at the end of the year, was it Tyrod Taylor? Is that who it was?
I think so.
Was it DeVito? Didn't they bring DeVito?
DeVito stepped in once.
DeVito's
stepped in a couple times. Yeah, he stepped in a couple times, but I think Taylor was like the quarterback last year. there that was just kind of like filling the void, right? But once they got the run game settled, he was able to pass the ball. They were able to move the ball. I just don't think it ever resulted in as many points as you need. And then their defense, they were hurt. They were a limping unit, but and young, right? So it's like the young trying to develop the young.
Right.
You know what I mean? Their D-line's stout.
Well,
and they just added.
And
they added Barnes last year.
Abdul Carter's
supposed to be like Micah Parsons. I mean, that's his comp.
Yeah, but you know what? I haven't really heard much about him in training camp, and I didn't really hear shit about him in fucking preseason either. Which I doubt he fucking played a snap in preseason. I haven't really heard any fucking hype, but that doesn't mean shit, right? Because who knows? Maybe this motherfucker comes out and gets 23 fucking sacks. Who knows?
Well, they're the same as the Cowboys. Great front seven. The secondary is where it gets bad.
Yeah. Well, they're young.
Front seven though. Only if Micah Parsons is there, their D line is good. Their linebacking core is mid.
They're gonna get sacks. Is my point there for both teams. You're gonna get sacks, but that's not.
I think
enough.
The Giants' defense is already gonna be better because the secondary got better as the year went on, but they're young, so a lot of them are coming into their sophomore season, and the secondary should get better. Now, granted, I don't think this is gonna be. Depending on that, if Abdul Carter is Micah Parsons, then it will be a dominant defense. But even if Abdul Carter just comes in and gives them 6 sacks and has an up and down rookie season, I still think that this is this could be a 14th, 15th ranked defense that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, I think they have the potential of being even higher.
Oh, for sure, especially if Abdul Carter is what he's supposed to be.
But
and you have that Thibodeau, you have Thibodeau, and you have a couple other dudes, right there on the D line that, like I said, they get pressure, right? They just can't finish. Their defensive line gets pressure. It's just that doesn't result in a lot of sacks. It's incompletions.
I think it's going to be Russell Wilson's job to help out the defense and not turn the ball over and keep the ball on the offensive side, and that's going to keep them in games.
That's what I was going to say too. Last year, I think their defense would have been better, but the offense was incompetent most of the year. Mm-hmm. That hurts when you're out on the field all the time because they're getting 3 and outs.
Yeah.
Exactly. They still actually played pretty solid, all things considered, how inept and how young they were, how inept the offense was and how young they were. So with Russell, and I even have that in notes, I mean, he's looked good in preseason too in training camp, but you know exactly what you're going to get from him. He's not going to throw a ton of interceptions. He's going to check that, but he was throwing some really pretty deep balls though to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah.
But granted, it's preseason, so everything.
I'm excited to see what kind of season Neighbors has this year. I'm definitely going to be eyeing for him in fantasy, that's for sure.
Is Russell Wilson on the 1-year tour? Is that what
pretty much? Yeah.
I mean, Jackson's doing the 1-year tour, I'm sorry, 2-year on paper, but in reality, 1 year.
Exactly.
I think Jackson Dart actually starts by week 6. I thought at first he would sit the whole year because they needed to develop him. But after seeing him in preseason, I'm actually looking at I think they're just starting Russell Wilson just to be nice because they said they would. He's a veteran at this point
because they paid him. Right? You know what? It's not a bad thing though.
Let's see how he does.
If it's cheap enough, right? If you have, Russell Wilson kind of, showing Jackson Dart some shit. I mean, if I were the Giants and you invested this on Jackson Dart, money makes money, right? Iron sharpens iron. So you might as well, hey, we got one on a rookie contract, which ain't shit. And then fucking, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll have him play half the season and then have Jackson Dart in there fucking tearing it up by end of the year, hopefully in a playoff run.
There's a consistent theme we've noticed with the NFC in general. the third team, every time we pick, we're always like, this could be a sneaky good third team that could surprise people, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
be.
I don't think that they're there yet, but like I wouldn't be shocked if at the end of the year they were a wild card team, you know?
Well, I think that's a stretch for the team, but
but that's their ceiling. Their ceiling is wild card.
I do think
that
the ceiling is wild card.
Dude, did
the
you
ceiling
did you
is
watch
like
any
7
of Jackson Dart preseason tape?
I have him at like 6-7. I have him at like
7
6
and 9
win.
Is their ceiling. Now the second.
Well, I have them actually at 7 or 8.
7. Okay, 7.
But I think that's what they're. So your ceiling is if everything works out perfect for you.
Right.
So you're telling me their ceiling. You're telling me you'd be super shocked if Jackson Dart comes in and lights it up.
Look at the other NFC teams.
I get that, but you're telling me. Because what if the Cowboys, you never know, injuries, the Cowboys take a step back. Maybe Jaden Daniels does have that soft. So that's what I'm saying. The ceiling, if everything breaks their way, their ceiling is a wild card.
Perhaps.
But that's the perfect season for them. That's where everything works out their way. So that's all I'm saying. It doesn't work out your way. That's rare. Yeah. So most likely they're a year away, I think. They're a 7 or 8 win team.
So speaking of, let's talk about Washington.
Damn commies.
Yeah, I see him in second. I love the addition of Debo. I know, things were trailing off at the end with San Francisco, but I think Debo is a great talent. And, that was the team, I believe, ranked number 1 as the most entertaining to watch was Washington. And I agree with that. I mean, they are entertaining to watch. Jaden Daniels, I'm excited to see what he can do again this year. They've got a lot of weapons. Terry McLaurin is just a stud.
Terry.
Yeah. He reminds me of Robert Woods. I'm not saying he's better or worse than Robert Woods. I'm just saying the stature of him. But
Robert Woods is a better blocker, but actually Terry's a little bit better receiver and route runner.
So did Terry get a contract?
Not yet, but a lot of people are saying that by this weekend they'll have it wrapped up. He'll be out there. They want to keep him.
Yeah, well,
I don't know,
for
sure
I was kind of hoping.
Signed. A lot of people are anticipating by today it'll get done, though.
That's too bad.
Today's the last day.
What's your thought on Steve?
I'm sorry, what's that?
I feel like you're going to be the biggest potential to defeat Eagles.
Well, I see that they're the sneaky team, right? These guys are the ones that, and to be in all reality, this team and Minnesota were the two that I was like, shit. If we can snag the number 1 or number 2 seed in the playoffs, I wouldn't want to see Washington or I wouldn't want to see fucking Minnesota. I don't know why. Those are the 2 teams I would not want to see, in the playoffs at any point.
What about the Bucks? They stopped the run really, really well. I think that on paper,
that's
a matchup problem for the Eagles.
Yeah, so Bucks is another one, but I think they're going to be fucking NFC South champs. There's no way they're not, right?
Yep.
I mean, you got
that's what we felt. We discussed at length.
You got the yeah. So I mean, you have the Bucks. So I mean, you wouldn't see them until what?
The Bucks just have a D-line starting 4 that can match up with your offensive line to where it's kind of a stalemate. Like, I'm not saying the D-line dominates that O-line, but that O-line's not going to dominate the Bucks D-line. And so without that yard,
their linebackers, their linebackers get a lot of action. You know what I mean? Because their front 4 are usually standing up off O linemen to where their linebackers can jet through those fucking holes and just tee off on the quarterback or put pressure on them. I mean, that was the thing that I saw last year when we went down there and got fucking smoked.
So, I mean, Washington, I think, could take 1 of 1 from the Eagles. I think, or
that's
1 of 2. Excuse me. It's funny. The big hole that I have with them is their kicker. That's their hole. Is their kicking game. You know, their defense is getting better. You know, the offense is already there. I think the offense is ready to pounce.
Well, a lot of it is going to depend on their 7th-round running back, Jackery Krosky-Barrett, or Bill, as he prefers to go by, which I fucking love that. Call me Bill. Give me the ball. I think Bill's going to do great. I'm rooting for fucking Bill.
And they just traded Brian Robinson to the Niners.
Yeah, because of Bill.
Yeah,
Bill's looking good, actually. Bill. Yeah, I like Bill. And
Well,
then
and
Eckler is the 2-punch. If Bill is
and then
good,
they have Eckler.
then-
They still have Eckler, so they have that 1-2. You know, the Eckler could still fill in as a starter.
And Jaden Daniels is another running back, much like Jalen Hurts.
He is a running back as well. Yeah, just like Jalen.
Yeah,
Hurts.
but you know what? You know what though? He's gonna take a fucking hit that's gonna change his mind about running. Watch, it'll happen.
You know,
whether it's a 15-yard penalty or not.
I thought that too, but here's the thing: is say what you will, and I do get what you're saying. At some point, maybe that crack, but his instincts are great, even through college. So there's an interesting thing when we were covered before. So, what can I think about Broncos coach Sean Payton? Yeah, so Sean Payton in last year's draft only had 2 quarterbacks on his draft board: Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix, and those were the 2 best rookies last year. So they asked, they were like, what do you do to evaluate quarterbacks? It's like, well, the very first thing I look at is sacks, because I don't care what you say, that's a quarterback stat. The all-time greats don't take sacks. They figure, even with bad offensive lines and injuries, they don't take a lot of sacks because it stinks, right? Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix were by far the best quarterbacks at not taking sacks. Their instincts in the pocket, even when you see Jaden Daniels running his slides, everything, I got to give the kid credit. His rookie year, he showed phenomenal instincts with that. Much better than like RG3 or even Josh Allen when he was younger. Like, you rarely see intelligent quarterback play with instincts like that on runs and sliding, knowing when to throw the ball away and avoiding those big hits. So he is actually really good at that, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when he gets folded up, it'll happen.
Sometime it is going to happen.
He'll change. I mean, you notice how Jalen Hurts fucking slides like 4 yards, with no one around him within 4 fucking yards. He slides down. There's a reason for that, man. He's taking a fucking lick to where it was like, oh shit,
Daniels
okay,
is already
hey,
doing that without taking a lick,
dude. He's been in the league 1 year. He's been in the league 1 year. He's been taking big time hits for 1 year.
And that's going to be it too. Is the sophomore bug going to bite Jaden Daniels?
And I'm not saying that I'm all superstitious about that shit, but it's going to happen. It will decrease.
Sophomore bug doesn't have anything to do with superstition. It's called adjustments. You know, the defense now knows what you're going to do and will adjust. And the question is, how fast does it take you to adjust back? So,
right.
You know, and that's why you see third year usually is the better year. That's the dynamic really going on there.
So, well, I think their defense does get better under Dan Quinn, though.
For sure.
Sure.
Washington, where do we see them finishing at record-wise?
Oh, 10-win team, for sure.
Yeah.
So I have Washington at 12-5, 11-6. 12-5, 11-6.
Honest Eagles fan take on Washington, because you know, honestly, 12-11 could be tied for the division, if not the division lead, depending on how it all shakes out. But I definitely think
it's reality, right? I mean, Washington of all the teams in the NFC East, Washington is the team catching up. Yeah. Right. But I mean, I still think they're probably, they're probably 2-3 years out. Right. They're probably 2-3 get Jaden Daniels a little bit more seasoning, if you will. Right. And then you put more shit around him, or maybe even build up your defense a little bit more around, Dan Quinn, and fucking boom, man. You got a fucking decent team, and I hate to see it, but I also enjoy it too, because football is not fun if it's not like entertaining and doesn't provide some sort of fucked up emotion, right?
If you know you're going to win every time, where's the fun? I mean, well,
Exactly.
sometimes that could be fun too.
And as an
Where do you
Eagle
see it?
fan, I already go into it as my team's gonna lose.
Well, they do have a tougher schedule, much like the Eagles.
Right.
So not that I think it's a sophomore slump. I think strength of schedule. I have them at solid 10 wins though in a wild card spot. I think that's where they fall. I think that they are going to lose some tough losses because of the strength of schedule. Just like I think the Eagles are going to have, I think they're the 11 or 12 win team who wins the division, but because of that strength of schedule, I think they take 4 or 5 L's, because it's going to be tough. It's a tough schedule.
So let's talk about them Eagles.
Let's talk about the motherfucking Eagles.
Yeah. Let's start with our guest here. We'll give guest honors. Steve, how do you see him record wise, and what are you looking forward to this year with the Eagles?
I have my beloved Eagles at 13-4, 12-5, somewhere in that area, going 5-1 in the NFC East, taking the 1 to 2 seed.
Yeah.
Who
do you have that one? That one L must probably. I don't imagine that's to the Cowboys or the Giants. Could be the Giants. I don't imagine it.
No.
Here's my big concerns. My big 3 concerns for
the. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Your one's to the who? Your one is to the who? Who's the one loss?
It's to Washington.
Washington. You were saying,
I think we're gonna. I think we're gonna go 1-1.
Yeah,
I have 3 concerns, and none of them are huge concerns. But the only concerns that I have, another offensive coordinator, which Jalen Hurts is used to that. So this one isn't as huge of a concern, but still, Kellen Moore. You never know how the play caller is going to adjust and stuff, even if they keep the same system. So I'll be interested to see how Patullo does there. Is he able to be just as good as Kellen Moore at that? But they have a talented roster, so I think they'll be fine. From what I understand, he's not changing a lot from what they did last year, if anything. So, but that is a little bit of a question mark, always new coordinator. And then running backs, I'm not going to go through all of them, but running backs after a 2,000-yard season, the best one as far as yards was Barry Sanders at 1,491. Half of them get injured. And Saquon Barkley early on does have a little bit of an injury history. And then wide receiver depth. If Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown, God forbid, go down, that's going to hurt a lot. I mean, the tight end room is good, but then it's going to be really easy to stuff the receiver. Now, granted, you're still going to have a dominant run game. So these aren't huge concerns, but really those are the only 3 question marks I kind of had with it if I was to nitpick, I guess, if you will.
I think all 3 of those are valid. One, with the OC, Patullo's been with the Eagles organization for he's been there a while since Sirianni. He was a developer, right? And so Kellen Moore's system is you're going to still see a lot of Kellen Moore's system, mainly with motion. Now, whatever results from that motion is probably different. I can't imagine it's going to be exactly the same, patterns, schemes, shit like that. But you're going to see us pounding the fucking rock. We got a good running back room. Shipley's decent as a backup. They got, Gainwell went somewhere else. We didn't re-sign Gainwell, which was kind of, I guess, kind of sucked. But I think Shipley is just fine. He's more of a power, rusher, and fast too. He's quick. Just doesn't have the breakaway speed like Barkley does. But you're going to see more. I think you're going to see him just pounding the rock and passing the ball when need be. As far as if one of the big time receivers go down, we just picked up Michi from Houston, who is kind of a bigger bodied dude, right? So Dotson, Michi, and then you have Goddard. I think, to be honest with you, I still think we can fucking beat some teams because you can always rely on Barkley to pick up whatever out of the backfield, right? And then you
Well,
also
and
have
not only
another
that,
rusher with Jalen.
and not only that, I think the first two wideouts are solid, and I don't even think you mentioned them. You know, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I
Well,
mean, those
that
two,
was-
Right.
those two are a great 1-2 combo.
They are, but that's what I was
Mhm.
saying is that was one of the depth. If one of them
Right.
gets injured,
Right.
then
Who's
Right.
the
that
third
receiving
guy?
core changes a lot.
It does.
It
So
goes
we
from
have-
dangerous to
That was my question.
we can get them. Like we
So
can
we
cover
have
these guys.
Dotson, and then like from last year, we still have Dotson, and then Michi we just got from Houston in that I guess kind of readdressed CJ Gardner-Johnson deal. We basically gave them
Yeah.
their 5th round back. They give us our 6th round back and Michi.
I think,
So
and I think you brought this up too. The schedule is going to be tough because you have the NFC North and the AFC West, right? And then the Eagles get all the first place teams from the other divisions.
Yeah.
They do. Here's one thing I will say though, something that I like that the Eagles do, and you consistently win games even against tough teams.
Mhm.
It starts in the trenches.
They do.
And that's one thing they consistently could beat 90% of the teams in the NFL, AFC or NFC, in the trenches with
Especially
their
on the
current
offensive
roster.
side of the ball.
So I have them as a 12 to 14 win team that wins the division. I think that
It's going
I
to break
think
a trend.
they run through, it will break a trend. I think that they finally there's a repeat division winner. Now,
That's interesting too.
I think they're right there. They're definitely Super Bowl contenders. I'm not sure. I may pick them. I don't know if they're going to repeat as back-to-back, but they're definitely going to win the division, and they're going to be right there, and they could very well repeat.
Yeah, if you're
It's
not
hard to pick against them.
if you're not considering the Eagles for the Super Bowl, then I mean you must see a different season than
Because
everyone else.
here's the thing: is even with the concern with Saquon, which is a huge. I mean,
It's
he
a
was
valid
huge for them.
concern.
But let's say Saquon goes down 4 games in, which would be horrible. Their offensive line is good enough. Like we said before with Miles Sanders, you can plug in an average running back, and no, they're not going to get 2,000 yards, but you can still get 1,000 yards in 12 games out of an average rusher behind that O-line, plus Jalen Hurts. So the thing is they didn't have to pass the ball a lot last year, but when Jalen Hurts did, he was really good at it. I don't know if people noticed that. So
Dude, Jalen Hurts had Jalen Hurts had 650 yards rushing last year. That's not bad for a fucking quarterback. That's better than some number 2 running backs all season.
I love the stat that the Eagles were last in pass attempts and first in rush attempts. Do you think they're going to do that again this year?
It's going to be close.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced because you have a new system, right? So I think it's going to be a little bit more balanced, but run heavy.
Yeah.
If anything, run heavy.
Here's the thing with that, though, is that I actually could see it because if Saquon, I'm actually looking at this. So no rushers ever rushed for 2,000 their second year. Now Saquon has probably the best offensive line in the NFL. If he could stay healthy,
he has the ability to do it. He has the ability to do it.
Right. So he could be the first person to do it twice.
Right. Well, I think that wraps up our show, everybody. I think that we ended on a good note there.
We did, yeah.
Thanks for coming on, Steve. Really appreciate you, man.
Of course. Thanks for having
definitely
me.
do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to the update. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, have a good one. And everybody else, peace out.
All right. Later.